Hey, Ryu, you know the term seppuku comes up a lot. But have you ever wondered why it became such a big thing in Japan?
Totally, Sora. Seppuku wasn't just about self-sacrifice. It evolved a lot depending on the era. Let's take a look at how it developed from the Heian period to the Edo period.
The earliest records of seppuku come from the Heian period. Back then, samurai who got caught up in wars or political struggles would take their own lives using this method.
Yeah, like during the Heiji Rebellion in 1159. A defeated samurai committed seppuku, and there's even a story about a noble named Fujiwara no Yorinaga, who took his own life after losing a political battle. This was the earliest form of it.
At that point, seppuku didn't really have any formal rules yet. It was more like a way to take responsibility for your actions.
By the Muromachi period, seppuku started to become a way of junshi, or following your lord in death. Basically, when your lord passed away, his loyal retainers would commit seppuku to show their devotion.
So it was less about personal honor and more about loyalty to your lord?
Exactly. And then came the Sengoku period. This was an age of constant warfare, and samurai believed dying in battle was the highest honor. If they couldn't die in battle, some chose seppuku, to leave behind a legacy of bravery by facing fear and pain head-on.
And it wasn't just about personal glory anymore. Some samurai would commit seppuku to protect their followers. Like, a defeated general might sacrifice himself to save his retainers from punishment.
That's right. Samurai faced seppuku with a sense of duty, but it was also brutal. This is when kaishakunin, the person who assists in the ritual, became a thing. Their job was to deliver a quick, painless death by beheading the samurai after they began the ritual. It took incredible skill and composure.
That must have been such a heavy responsibility for the kaishakunin. When we get to the Edo period, Japan was much more peaceful. And seppuku shifted to become more of a ceremonial act, to uphold a samurai's honor.
Yeah, it got pretty formalized by then. They even had rituals where instead of actually cutting their stomach, they'd use a fan or wooden sword as a symbolic gesture. The kaishakunin would step in as soon as they reached for it.
So it became more about the gesture than the pain, huh?
Pretty much. But not all samurai were as steely as their ancestors. For example, in the Ako incident, better known as the 47 Ronin, Oi Shikuranosuke reportedly trembled before performing seppuku.
Makes sense. They lived in a peaceful time, so they didn't have the same battle-hardened mentality. And overall, seppuku wasn't that common during the Edo period. Across 300 years, there were only about 417 recorded cases. An average of just one per year.
Most of those were in the early Edo period, and many involved junshi, like following your lord in death. But in 1663, the government actually banned junshi, so it became even rarer.
So by the late Edo period, seppuku was more of a symbolic act than a real show of bravery or loyalty.
Exactly. For serious crimes, they didn't even allow seppuku. They'd go straight to execution by beheading instead. Take Matsukura Katsuie, who caused the Shimabara Rebellion. He wasn't allowed the honor of seppuku, and was executed instead.
But even in the Edo period, there were times when samurai performed truly dramatic seppuku. Like in the Sakai incident.
Oh, that one's intense. In 1868, French sailors got into a brawl in Sakai, and Tosa samurai ended up killing 11 Frenchmen. France demanded justice, so the Japanese government ordered the 20 Tosa samurai to commit seppuku.
It took place in the garden of Myokoji Temple in Sakai. The first samurai, Minoru Rinokichi, stepped forward, plunged a dagger into his stomach, and took his own life.
The French soldiers and their commander, Du Petit Thors, were stunned. Watching samurai endure such extreme pain and perform the act with composure, Must have been a total culture shock.
One by one, the samurai carried out their seppuku, without hesitation. It's said they even pulled out their entrails and shouted defiantly at the French soldiers. It was a gruesome yet powerful sight.
But when the 11th samurai was about to commit seppuku, the French commander couldn't take it anymore. He called it off, saying, "This is enough."
The Sakai incident is remembered as a symbol of samurai honor and responsibility, even in the peaceful Edo period. It showed that samurai still had their warrior spirit. Oh, by the way, in Demon Slayer, Zenitsu's master, Kuwajima Jigoro, also committed seppuku, without a kaishakunin, to atone for his student Kaigaku becoming a demon.
Yeah, having his beloved student fall to the demons must have been a huge shock for Jigoro.
But these days, no one sees seppuku as a symbol of honor or courage. It just doesn't fit modern values. It's amazing how much cultural values can change over time.
Totally, Sora. History's so fascinating when you really dig into it. Everyone, go explore more about Japan's past. It's full of stories like these.
That's it for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. See you next time.